Good morning. I'd like to welcome Alabama head coach Nick Saban to the stage for today's college football playoff semifinal media day. After Coach Saban makes an opening statement, we'll open up the floor to questions. Please raise your hand, wait for the microphone, and identify yourself by name and media outlet. Coach Saban, go ahead.
Well, first of all, wish everybody a very happy New Year. I know this is a time for resolutions, and what really are resolutions? It's things that we want to do in the future. So we're trying to be pretty obsessed with what we're trying to get done here in the next couple of days. So, but I'd also like to make mention of the fact that this has been a very good experience for us. The Sugarbowl folks have done a wonderful job. The city of New Orleans, and everything has gone extremely well from an organizational standpoint, from our standpoint, and we certainly appreciate that. But, we're here to play a game, and our players have done a really good job of trying to prepare for this game, and we're going to continue to do that for the next 48 hours, and hopefully be able to play very well in this game.
Hey, Adam Kramer from Bleacher Report. Josh Jacobs, maybe somewhat of an untraditional recruiting trip to get to Alabama compared to some of the other backs. But what have you seen from him in his first 2 years?
Josh has been a fantastic addition, to our team. He's a great role player for us. A little bit different sort of back than the other guys that we have. Really change of pace guy. He's a great competitor. Very, very relentless in the way he goes about his work. Plays a lot of toughness, a lot of tenacity. So he's always, sometimes you look for that one guy that can give you a little bit of a spark, and I think when Josh came back healthy later in the season, he certainly did that for us by the way he performed and the way he played. He's a very versatile player in terms of the kind of receiver he is. Inside runner, outside runner. Very, very effective player.
I'm sorry, Darrell Williams from Orleans Advocate newspaper. Would you give an assessment of Irv Smith Jr. and his development from his freshman year now, and just his role in the offense and your overall impressions of him?
Well, we're really pleased with Irv. Got to play last year quite a bit as a freshman. I'm sure that enhanced his development to some degree, but he's improved dramatically, through last year to this year, and probably one of our most consistent performers in terms of what we asked him to do. I think the role of the tight end has maybe changed a little bit in this day and age of football. They kind of got to be on the line blockers. They're off the line sort of fullback type guys, and sometimes you ask them to split out and be receivers. And Irv has done all three of those things very well for us, and he's played very consistently.
Rick Pinnell with the Charlotte Observer. This being the third straight year that you played against Clemson, is there anything distinctive you notice about Dabo's teams?
Well, first of all, I think Dabo does a fantastic job with his team. He's got a really good coaching staff. I think they're very innovative in some of the things that they do offensively, which makes it very hard for them to defend. I think they do a very good job of utilizing the personnel that they have. On offense, they're very talented. On defense, create a lot of problems for you, very aggressive in how they play. They got some really good players, but those players play extremely well. And they're very solid on special teams and everything they do. So when you look at their team, it's hard to find a lot of weaknesses in terms of what they do and how they do it, and the consistency that they do it with. So, I just think this is a really good program, very well coached. I think Dabo has, great leadership in terms of how people respond to him, and you can tell that by the way his team plays.
Hey, Nick Barrett, CBS. When you see Clemson this year on tape, what stands out about their wide receiver, specifically Hunter Renfrow?
Well, Hunter Renfrow is, a pain in the you-know-what in terms of nothing different from last year to this year. You know, the guy's very quick, very instinctive as a player, knows how to get open, makes the right decisions, really kind of a go-to guy for them on third down, especially in the third, 4 to 6, 7 range. So very, very crafty, very quick, but very smart in terms of how he plays. He's been really a consistent, effective player for them. And I think, when I made the statement earlier about how they utilize their personnel, that they take, to me, receiver corps is a little bit like a basketball team. You got to have a point guard, you got to have a shooting guard, you got to have a power forward, and I think that's one of the things that they do really well with their wide receiver corps in terms of how they utilize their guys, and they utilize him extremely well, and he's very effective at how he does what they ask him to do.
Chris Lowe, ESPN. Nick, where has Jalen grown the most as a quarterback and a leader?
I think Jalen has improved dramatically from last year to this year, and I think his consistency and performance throughout this past season was a lot better, especially in the passing game. Jalen has always been a guy that, because of his athleticism and his ability to run the ball, has made a lot of plays with his feet. But I also think that we've been able to help him develop as a quarterback in terms of his decision-making in the pocket. And when he has done that well, he's been extremely effective, and he's been a little more consistent at doing that well this year. And we hope that, that we'll be able to continue to build on that, for him in this game.
Coach Saban back here. Aslan Hodges, CBS in Dothan, Alabama. Coach, the last month, obviously very valuable to get these guys on defense healthy, but on the offensive side, have you seen the development you'd want out of your wide receivers in the last month to give somebody to complement Calvin on the outside?
Well, first of all, we have gotten a few players back on defense, but we also lost Hootie Jones in the Auburn game, Sean Deion Hamilton, who was a signal caller on defense. So lost Dylan Moses, who really kind of took his place. So we've kind of gained a few and lost a few. But it's a new mix of people and a new chemistry of how those guys are going to work together in this game. And I think that's extremely important in terms of communication when you play against no-huddle type teams. Offensively, I think we have other weapons on offense that have made plays, whether it's Jerry Jeudy, Smitty, Ruggs, Robert Foster, Cam Sims. I just think we have to utilize those guys, and I think they're all very capable, and we have a lot of confidence in them. So it's a matter of the quarterback developing confidence, making the right decisions, getting the ball to the right guys, and that's something that we worked on very, very hard all year long, and hopefully over this time it's going to show that we have made improvement.
Nicole Auerbach, The Athletic. How, after a game like last year's against Clemson, how many times do you watch the game, the film of it?
No, I don't know that how many times. I can't answer that. More than I'd like, but and I think maybe to understand when you prepare for a game, it's not just about the game. It's the situations. You prepare for a game more like formation breakdowns. What do they do in these formations, these personnel groups, these motions? How are they different this year than what they've been in the past? And you take some of the things that happened in the game last year and some of the things that you got hurt with in the game last year, and you kind of throw that in the mix and make sure that you're helping your players be able to play those plays effectively in the game. So anytime we play a game, right after the game, we always sort of do, here's the things that we did well, here's the things we could have improved on, here's some game plan sort of adjustments that we could have made, or preparation errors that would help us play better. So it starts with that self-analysis a whole year ago. And then how do you answer those questions moving forward? And we obviously watched that game again, but some of those assessments continue to be the same. So it's a matter of trying to fix those things and get the players to understand the issues and the problems and get tied together in terms of how you play the plays. To me, there's a lot of quarterback runs. So you're basically playing a wildcat type of offense all the time with a quarterback who is able to throw the ball down the field. So that's a very challenging in and of itself circumstance to have to deal with.
Nick, Will Pollock, South Carolina Radio Network, over here. As far as the success that you've had over the course of the last couple of years and teams trying to imitate that success, how do you think the growth of Dabo's program and Clemson, how does that growth mirror your own growth from when you guys started?
Well, I don't really, it's tough to make comparisons. I think they have a very successful program. They won as many games as anybody in college football over the last few years. They put themselves in a position to have a chance to win championships and have won championships. And I think their team plays at a very high level on a very consistent basis. It's pretty obvious that they have a philosophy that they believe in, that their players believe in, and they've had a lot of success. So I don't like comparison questions. I don't think it's fair to answer comparison questions. We have a program, we have things that we believe in, and we've had some success through the years as well. So the challenge is can you continue to get people to perform at a high standard where they understand the goals and aspirations that they have and the things that they want to achieve, and but they also understand the things that they have to do to be able to achieve them, and they have the discipline to do those things and execute those things day in and day out. And it's about making choices and decisions to accomplish the goals that you have, not necessarily what you feel like doing. And I think their program probably has done that fairly well, but I think our program has done it fairly well as well.
Nick, on your right, Kevin Skarbinsky, AL.com. When you look at the players that you lost to the NFL from last year and the injuries you've suffered this year, is it fair to say that this defense may have overachieved so far this season?
Well, maybe to say it a little differently, I would say we certainly had our share of challenges. First of all, starting with the fact that we lost a lot of good players on defense, had a lot of new players playing. Those players developed, I think, very well. And then we had a lot of adversity to overcome in terms of some of the personnel, especially at one particular position, which would be linebacker. And sometimes you can overcome injuries when you have one here, one there, at different positions because you have enough depth. But it's created some issues for this group this year, and I think that they've handled it. I think our coaches, I think Jeremy and our defensive coaches have handled it really well in terms of providing the leadership to help those guys be able to go in and be effective in the roles that they play. So, and it continues to be a challenge for us.